Morning.
Happy Halloween 2016.
Morning, October 31st.
Yeah, so it's Dominic Pettruzzelli again.
Paul Bulanov.
Nick Berard. Yes, we have our friend Paul here today, and what did we talk about today, guys?
Well, we talked about how models matter, and the reason models matter is because it's basically the science of success. It is our roadmap to earning $1 million. What was that example they gave with Buffett in there that we liked?
This was my favorite part of what we just read. So the greatest investor of our time, possibly the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett, he understood the power of learning from others and following models. That's we were just introduced to the model section. There's 4 models of the MREA. Now Warren Buffett, specifically after getting some professional investing experience, really before he became what he is today, he vowed he would not make another investment until he read this book, Security Analysis, 12 more times. He wasn't content simply being familiar with the material, but he wanted to learn the models and become an expert, so that way he could go and become Warren Buffett.
Right, and they talked about how success is something that obviously you can learn on your own, but success is something you can learn through others as well, based on their successes and using their models. The 4 models they talked about, in which they'll break down in a little later in the book more deeply, is the first one's the economic model, second one's the lead generation model, third one's the budget model, and the fourth one is the organizational model. And these all 4 have to work together. And they're models that are provided in the book, but it's something where you don't want to be reinventing the wheel. You don't want to be starting from scratch. And they gave the idea of, as long as you have a model and you follow it, I mean, you're going to have a pretty straight line of success. And obviously there'll be a little bit of speed bumps on the way, but if you don't have a model, you're going to be all over the board.
The important point there was, if you have a model, you have a baseline to come back to in your business. So if you're just being creative and I'm gonna reinvent my business this year just based on what I'm thinking, well, what's your reference point to go back to? You go back to your own creative model versus, well, what have others done before you? I like the quote, trust those who've lived before you. Learn from them, learn from their mistakes, and if it's been done in somebody else's market, it probably can be done in yours too. Paul, what did you take from this?
I just like the beginning. It's the chapter that talks about earning $1 million, right? So I think it's important to just mention that if a man knows not what harbor he seeks, any wind is the right wind. So really the models is knowing exactly where we're going. Mm-hmm. And then just page 120, he says, to put it plainly, models matter, and not just all models, the right models matter the most. So that's just a big takeaway for me is, analyze what models am I building my business on, and are those models going to get me where I want to go?
And the cool thing is, there's 4 of them. We're going to hit them next. So I thank you guys for joining, and until next time.
Yeah.